Start by showing a little respect. That all? Truth is, things been rough around the way. You know what you're doing so good, though. Maybe you throw some ends my way. See, that's how it's here for you and all. I ain't paying you to be my mother. By showing a little respect. That all? Truth is, things been rough around the way. You know what you're doing so good, though. Maybe you throw some ends my way. See, that's how it's here for you and all. I ain't paying you to be my mother. What did I do? We don't know, then you do. So why you here? If this is about Michael and Regina, y'all should know he don't live here no more. Actually, I'm following up on your man's case. You know how he died. Being bad. Kind of fashion. That's what he said. It seemed like he was all brought out to get somebody that riled out. Unless, of course, he go for you. I swear I ain't in this. It ain't me you want to talk to. The boy, he know. He ran with them who did it. He told me the ball wasn't coming home, or we even know he was dead. You said he's running with them. Running with who? Chris, Snoop, all them gangsters. Who else doing all the killing around here? And look how you doing. Not coming around, not letting me see Bob. Is that pay back a mother? How should I pay you back? Start by showing a little respect. That all? Truth is, things been rough around the way. You know what you're doing so good, though. Maybe you throw some ends my way. See, that's how it's here for you and all. I ain't paying you to be my mother. By showing a little respect.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your home girl. Barbosa. It's 4:00 in the morning, so that means I have an hour to do this video. So, good morning, everyone. Habari za hasaburi. Karibu. Ni umbani kewangu. Twendi zetu. Kuja na mimi. Kula jaku. Miji baridi. Kuvuta kiti. Kachini. Kumpumzika. Unakaribishwa. Jifurahishe. Yeah. So, I'm welcoming you to my channel. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's 4:00 in the morning, you guys. It's 4:00 in the morning. Before I went to bed last night, I looked at The Wire. I looked at a few of the seasons of The Wire. And one of the characters that was on The Wire was named Michael Lee. A lot of people don't understand The Wire. They've never seen it. They don't know what The Corner is. And both of these TV series was once on HBO a couple of years back. You know what I mean? And everyone I knew, when I was living in New York, everyone I knew was watching The Wire. You know, people were raving about it. They said, Arabia, you got to see it. You got to see it. And I remember going to the library and getting the seasons, all the different DVDs on The Wire. I took them back to the house. I played them on my TV. And then, of course, I let people in the house watch some of those movies or some of those DVDs, actually. And a lot of them liked those DVDs. And so when I returned everything back to the library, they wanted me to extend it, to recheck them out again, so to speak. But now we have The Wire on the YouTubes. You can find The Wire on the YouTubes. And Michael Lee is just one of the characters. You have plenty of other characters that were on The Wire. You had Omar Little. You had Proposition Joe. You had Stringer Bell. You had Barksdale. Oh, my goodness. But Michael Lee, he was the favorite. He was my favorite. What's up, Tish? Good morning. Yeah. I got an hour, Tish. Tish, I got an hour to get out of here. An hour. This is Michael Lee. Just in case if nobody knew who that was or who I was talking about. And he was one of the characters on The Wire. Now, we used to have a lot of YouTube creators in different sections of the YouTube talking about The Wire. Talking about it. Word. He was the best. He was the best. That's him again. Now, just in case some people didn't know who Michael Lee was, I'm explaining who he was. He was a character on The Wire. He was the older brother of Bug. He went to school. He was a middle school student. He dropped out of school to become a drug dealer. And the only reason why he went to the corner like the way he did is because of his mother. And can you believe the woman had the nerve to want him to pay her for doing what she was supposed to have been doing? See, if it wasn't for her, Michael Lee would have never went to the streets. Michael Lee would have never went to the corner. I think Michael Lee would have became a boxer because he was training in Cody's gym. The gym he had for the young men in the neighborhood. He was trying to occupy their time. He was trying to show them different things and different skill sets. You know what I mean? It just seems so crazy to me as I'm saying it, but it just seems like there's more programs out here for young men rather than young women as well. I don't see any boxing leagues with women involved. You don't hear too much about women boxers. You don't hear too much about mixed martial artists that are women. You don't hear too much about women that practice the 52 blocks. You don't hear anything about that. See, a lot of people in this sector don't talk about shit like the way I talk about it. Yes, I have my ups and downs. Yes, there's certain people on this platform I do not like, that I do not enjoy. So instead of wasting time really watching them, I create my own shit. I come up with my own narrative. And that's the way I do. I really enjoyed The Wire. I did. When it was on HBO. That's Michael Lee right there. I totally loved him. And it's so shocking to me that the mother was so neglectful of her own children. The woman cared more about getting high than feeding her kids, making sure her kids were cool, making sure her kids were all right. But she had the nerve. Once Michael became a drug dealer, he moved out of his mother's house. He took his younger brother with him, which was Bug. And so he started working for Marlo Stanfield. He started working with Chris. He started working with Snoop. He was under Marlo Stanfield. Marlo was able to make shit happen for Michael. And I don't mean no harm, but it has to be said. It has to be said. It seems like street niggas are the most realest niggas. They're the coolest niggas. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're in New Jersey. I don't care if you're in Massachusetts or South Carolina or Florida. Street niggas are the most real niggas. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. When I was living in New York, street niggas were just real. They were real like that. They were smooth like that. It was a smoothness, and there was a certain way they did things. They weren't flashy. I don't remember anyone from the streets being flashy. Anyone in that lifestyle of selling drugs or being involved with guns. I don't remember seeing anyone really flashing. Nothing. I remember when I was going to school, public school in New York, there was plenty of my classmates that were attending school, but there was one in particular, I remember him always showing money, and of course the other children were, they wanted to know, hey man, how did you get so much money in your pocket? And he was turning a lot of people on. He was turning a lot of people on to become drug dealers, to sell drugs. They wasn't selling in the school. He was selling after he got out of school. He went to his corner and he did what he had to do. He, of course, was being raised by a single parent. A single parent. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And sometimes when they were, okay, we'll go back a couple of years back. A couple of years ago, Tommy Sotomayor did a video where he was talking about some of the problems that's in the Black community and how single mothers was the cause of it, was the root of it. The rooty tooty. Straight to the fruity. Let's be honest, because we got a lot of neglectful parents out there, and they have the nerve to want someone like their children to respect them. They have a lot of nerve. I'm telling you, when I met my biological family in 2003, I was 30 years old. I had been separated from my family for 28 years. What was the root cause that was on paper as to why we was in the system, why we even went into the system as children? It was on paper, they put her down as being neglectful. And now when I think about it, and as I talk to her a couple of years down the road from that, because I always wanted to know, how could you turn against your own children? Your own flesh and blood, people you carried around for 9 fucking months, and you turned. I never seemed to understood that. And then I was reading an article that was printed up a couple of years ago about Newt Gingrich, and how Newt Gingrich said that he wanted, at that particular time when he was in Congress and he was in politics, at that particular time, he was asking for the closing, the abolishing of foster care system as we know it. He was asking for that to be abolished, the whole foster care system. He didn't think it was helping young people. And in a way, he's correct in his thinking, because a lot of people are not ready to be parents. So what happens to the children? The children either get shuffled off to live with relatives, or they go into the system. In my case, because the courts didn't feel that my grandmother was a good fit, They didn't think that she would be able to raise me and my brother. You know what I mean? Because my grandmother had she went to the courts. She wanted custody of me and my brother. They turned her down flat. I remember when I went up for the adoption thing, where they wanted, me and my brother to be adopted out. I was like, nah, I don't want to get adopted because I don't know if my parents are looking for me. And I don't want to live with these people. I would rather live with my grandmother. I said that. It's in the court records. It's in the court documents of what I said. And I was 9 years old at the time. I knew where I was at wasn't the place for me. Even though me and my brother, we was not separated, but we would have been separated if I didn't go along with the program. And he was my only blood relative for years in that house. You know what I mean? Of course, I was raised with other children in the house as well, but nothing is like your own. And what's that song? I will always love my mama because she's the only one. You only get one. You only get one. I beg to differ. I keep hearing that song every year on Mother's Day. I hate that song. I think that song is so full of shit. A lot of mothers ain't prepared to be mothers. A lot of mothers ain't shit. A lot of mothers are drop shots, no name or brand, drag nasty bitches. Let's be real. Especially when they choose the world over their own children. So they neglect their own flesh and blood. They neglect the babies they bring into the world. But I honestly believe that the foster care system is not the answer. It needs to be abolished. It's not helping anyone. Only thing they're doing is paying these people to take care of these kids. What person in their right mind is going to sit back and say, well, I have a part-time job and, I live in a pretty decent house or whatever the case may be. I think I should get some extra money. Gosh darn, let me apply to become a foster parent. Yo, they go through all that rigmarole just to get to the bag, just to get to the money. They don't give a fuck about those kids. So it's like Newt Gingrich said, they should abolish foster care. They should stop people from adopting children. Build institutions and have the right people over it, have the right people manage it. Build institutions where the children will be taught how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, and to get a skill. I'm sorry, I don't care if they got Job Corps or not. Children don't need to be taught a skill at the age of 14, 15, 16. No, they need to be taught early. That's why we're so far behind in this fucking country. What's up, Regina? Yeah. Queen Regina, what's up? Good morning. Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, but that's what I was thinking about when I looked at The Wire. I was thinking about the situation that Michael Lee was in. He was being neglected by his mother. He ended up having to go to the streets. He had to make sure the mother's boyfriend got killed. Bug's father got killed. He had to do that because the man had sexually abused him when he was young. He had sexually molested Michael. And Michael went to Marlo. And Marlo called Chris and Snoop. And Chris and Snoop talked to Michael. And then that's when Michael let it be known, hey, I need y'all to do this for me. I don't know where else to go. He couldn't take care of the man himself, even though Michael was big. He still felt intimidated by the man a little bit. Of course, any young man would feel that way, but there's a lot of mothers out here that will neglect their own children. They will know that their children are being mistreated, molested, and everything else, and that they will not lift one finger to help that child. That's true. But I really hope and pray before the end of my lifetime that they will abolish the foster care system and abolish adoptions and all that across the board. For real, for real. So it's like that. That's my opinion. So, he was a good character. I liked him. I truly enjoyed The Wire when it was on TV. I truly enjoyed it. He was something serious. And then when he went to the streets, they not only wanted him to be on a corner drug dealing, they wanted him to do a few hits. So he had to kill some people. He had to put a bullet in some people's ass. And he had to do what he had to do to take care of him and his younger brother, Bug. And that's what a lot of children going through right now, taking care of their younger brothers and sisters, taking care of their siblings, cooking for them, cleaning for them, getting them up to go to school, taking them to the laundromat, washing their clothes, teaching the children how to take care of themselves. Yeah. We got a lot of children that are not children anymore. They're adults. They're adults before they even reach the age of 13. That's why I say a lot of time that if they abolish the foster care system, which they need to do, go ahead and, get these children in these schools and teach them a craft, teach them a skill at a young age. That's why we so far behind in this country. If you go to Japan, right, the children over there are educated different than the children over here. What's the difference? School for them starts not at 9 o'clock. School for them starts earlier. The school day ends at 5 o'clock for them. The children over there that eat lunch at the school or whatever meals that they're eating, they clean up after themselves. They do that every day. In this country, the children go to a lunch counter, get their little lunch. They might eat some of the meal, they might not, and they leave a mess. They don't clean up after themselves. So it's a big difference between American children and children that's across the ocean. For real, for real. For real, in my opinion. And these are all my opinions. These are my personal thoughts only. These are my thoughts only. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl, the BT1000. I call myself the BT1000. I forget which channel I went to yesterday, and I typed in, and somebody was talking about the different groups in this section of YouTube. And I calmly explained while I was tippity typing that a lot of the groups in this sector of YouTube would not exist if it wasn't for Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor is the blueprint. He's the architect. When he came And of course, he left from off the YouTubes for a little while. He's back now. He's back. But in the meantime, I was explaining to people in the chat why I call myself the BT 1000 and why it will be that way until, you know. And one of my moderators was like, oh, we need to come up with a new name, a new slogan for you, Arabia, because we don't see you being the BT 1000. You haven't seen me in action. You haven't seen me go anywhere and troll people. You haven't seen me do it. And when I do, I usually tippity type, and then sometimes I'll hit the link and I will be on the panel and I will speak my truth. I will tell my story. In the words of Queen Regina, let me tell my story. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell my side and how I see things. And a lot of people are not ready. They think they're ready. I try to prepare them. But I guess it is a big difference from what it was a year ago, 2 years ago. It's a big difference. I'm not the same person, so people think. But I know I'm the same person. I know. When I camera up, I you still see me. I might have my hair cut short. I don't know. I found the other day I was growing chin hairs. One that I pulled it. I said, what is that? I pulled at it. The hair was so long. So I said, oh shit, I have to shave. And I used to, do it anyway, but I think once a year, I didn't have a facial hair problem. You know what I mean? Word. But I wouldn't mind growing a mustache. It'll draw more women onto me. And I'm thinking, man, because it's been a year. It's been a year since Birdman has passed away. It's been a year. I have not been in a relationship with anybody. I've been by myself for a whole year by myself. And it's good to be by yourself. You don't have to be in a relationship with Tom, Dick, and Harry. But now I'm looking at attending that club downtown because they got a gay spot in Charleston, South Carolina. It's downtown. It's not too far from where I get dispatched from my jobs. You go in there, you have a good time. I never been in there. I had no reason to go in there before. Now there's a reason. Yeah, I'm looking for me somebody new. It's time. Shout out to the chat. How would y'all like for that to happen? You have me, Arabia, but there'll be another partner, another somebody. Maybe they'll occupy my time. Maybe I won't be on the YouTubes. I won't have time to come on the YouTubes and start trolling people. Maybe I'll have too much time on my hands to be doing any of that. You know what I mean? Word. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, this is your home gal. Arabia Bambosa. Yeah. Shout out to Westchester County, New York. Shout out to the 914. Yeah, man. I thought about DMX the other day, and I totally forgot that, he grew up in some of the group homes in Westchester County. He grew up right outside of Yonkers, at that group home. It's called Children's Village. It's called Children's Village. The number 6 bus will take you there. It was plenty of days I rode past that place and people would point at it and be like, yo, that's where DMX grew up. He's from School Street, Yonkers, New York, but his mother left him in an institution when he was very young. I don't know what he went through at being in a group home setting like that, because that was a humongous group home setting. And that's where a lot of children end up. Those that don't go into a foster care home, usually, sometimes they get sent to a group home setting, or they get sent to juvenile hall. And then these children are not criminal. They're not criminal. I don't understand why anybody in the state or in a county somewhere is going to send an innocent child to a juvenile hall detention center because they became a foster child. Their parent couldn't take care of them anymore. Something went wrong in the home. You know what I mean? That's what the situation is. You know what I mean? And I feel for them. And that's why certain things need to be looked at when we talk about foster care and we talk about adoptions. You know what I mean? Word. Some people just get licensed just so they can get to the bag. They can get to the bag. And heaven help the child if the child end up going to a public school and they get put in special ed. Because then that's more money. That's more money. People are making money off these kids. They're making money. Why can't the children make their own money? You know what I mean? Be in a school setting, learn a craft, learn a skill, become a helper at a young age instead of, the obvious. That's the streets. You know what I mean? The streets ain't for everyone. There's two types of children in the world, and this is my opinion. This is my point of view. There's nobody else's thoughts. There's two types of children in the United States, in the world of the United States. Let's say that. There's the children that sit on the porch or the stoop and they never leave off. They listen to what the parents are telling them. And then you have the children that become corner kids. Those are the ones that get up, they get off the porch, they don't give a fuck what the parent is talking about because they don't like the way they being treated or some other bullshit is happening. So what they do, they get off that porch, they get off that stoop, they go to the street, and then they go to the corner. They're standing there learning how to destroy people, but putting money in their pocket at the same time. Or they join a gang, a street organization, and they call it family. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say people don't need to do certain things. People are social creatures. You can't tell nobody what to do. Because when I went to the penitentiary, there were no gangs in there. There was a different subculture, and it was called families. Different women became den mothers, and they had families. They ran families. Shout out to the chat. I remember one time there was just two women that I knew in the penitentiary. They had started out doing time together. What ended up happening, they ended up having a falling out. They became enemies. But as time progressed, as time moved on, they accumulated people in their car and they called it their family. And I'm telling you, if you have a den mother, and she's telling you, look, when I first started doing my time, me and such was friends, but we're not friends no more. We fell out years ago. That's my enemy. That's my op. And that's your enemy, and that's your op. And whoever's riding with the other lady in her car and her family, then those are the ops. And trust me, there'll be battles in there. There'll be wars. If your den mother come to you right now and say to you, look, I know you new and I know you young, and I need you to do something for me. If nobody's coming to visit you regular and nobody's putting money on your books, what you think you gonna do? You gonna ride by yourself or you gonna ride with a family? Now, in my case, I didn't need a family because I had my girlfriends. See, I dated different women while I was in there, and when I got out, I continued to date women. I continued. And then I started dating men a little bit, but mostly females. I mostly prefer females. Anyway, before I cut my wisdom, hey, what's up, Corey A? Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in, Corey. Shout out to you, my day one. Yep, Corey. Corey. Yeah, that's right. So when I was in prison, there was women that were considered den mothers, and they had their own families. It was a subculture in there. So if the den mother came to you and said, look, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and if nobody's really doing nothing for you, and they know you ain't getting no money on your books like that, and they know that maybe your state pay had been, canceled for whatever reason, they usually like to take up the slack. And when you do things for the den mother, you do them and you do them well. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And trust me, they be looking for the young tenderonis. The thing about a Moni. Yeah, tenderoni. That's what they be looking for. They don't look for no old school cat like me. An old school cat like me, they're gonna be like, yo, I need a mommy, I need a daddy, That's what when motherfuckers on this app fuck with me, you know what I tell them? There was somebody that came in my chat a while ago and asked me, why am I gay? I said, the reason why I'm gay is because I fucked your mama, and your mama was my candy looker. That's why I'm gay. She turned me out. I'm your daddy. I tell niggas on this app quick, I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I'm your papa. How do we say it in Swahili? Baba. I'm your baba. What's up, Uncle L? I'm your baba. Yeah. When niggas be on this app be trying to clown me or whatever, I tell them shit like that. I said, you know why they talking about me? Because when they were young, I didn't pay my child support. And so they're mad with me. I'm their father, but I neglected them. I didn't want them around. That's what I tell them. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, Uncle L. I'm just up here chopping it up. With you guys. I was trolling hard yesterday in some of those chats. I was trolling, man. I even trolled Bishop for a little bit. But I do my trolling different. Like, let's say that somebody is having a discussion, or they're having an open panel somewhere, right? And I'd be like, yeah, I feel like trolling today. You know what I mean? So I'm going to hit the link. So here I go hitting the link. I get on the stage and I'm talking. I might talk to the person, I might not, or I might do what I did to Anthony the other day and laugh, because I found it very interesting that Anthony never fixed that air condition. How you gonna be maintenance? And hotel. And then he had the nerve to take it apart and put the parts on the bed. Come on, Anthony. Come on, man. Anthony, my little baby. I love the troll Anthony. Anthony is my little baby. I love the troll Anthony. I love the troll Anthony. I love the troll Sis. I love the troll Fats TV. I like the troll Bishop. Who else do I be trolling? I do it with flavor. I do it with flavor and love and enjoyment. I be like in my heart, I just be just a giggling. I be just a giggling in my heart. I be on the panel with you, talking to you, but in my heart, I'm giggling all the way because I'm enjoying myself. You don't understand. You think you're having a conversation with the BT 1000, but you're not really having a conversation with me. I'm just up here trolling you, and you're asking me questions, and I'm answering you as honestly as I possibly can. But I like to do that because sometimes you can clear up some misconceptions or misunderstandings at the same time while you're trolling. Because I noticed that certain other people do that as well. Yeah, there's no need for me to sit in the bushes and the clouds if I'm in someone's chat. I like to participate. I like to tippity type and I like to hit the links. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to YouTube Streets. Let me blow a cigarette, y'all. I gotta blow me a cigarette. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. I'm getting out my cigarettes because I gotta blow me one. I haven't had one since last night. I bought 2 packs of cigarettes on Monday, and I'm trying not to smoke up all my smokes because I hate going on jobs and I don't have my own fucking cigarettes. I gotta ask somebody else. These are the days when I wish I had a partner. Partners are good. They know you, they get to know you, they get to know your habits, good or bad. And if I had a partner in my life, they'd be buying the cigarettes. You know what I mean? Or they might say, "Hey, Arabia, do you think that's healthy for you? I don't think you should be smoking that." And I'm a chain smoker. I've been a chain smoker ever since I started smoking. I remember when I was young, I used to steal cigarettes. It was me and a couple of cousins. I had a couple of cousins, they were young too. And this is before they changed the cigarettes from sitting behind the counter until, remember when you used to go to the store. Now, a couple of years ago, especially during the 80s and the 1990s, you can walk into a grocery store and you would find not only your beers and your wines and your wine coolers, but you would also be able to find your cigarettes. And child, please. Whew. I was a shoplifter, but I never became a booster. My mother and my father, they were boosters when they were young. They used to just go into people's store, take their shit. I mean, I don't even know how they used to do it real, real good. Because I think my mother explained it a little bit. And I was like, maybe that's why I like to take stuff. But I remember holding up that convenience store years ago, robbing the convenience store. Now, I tell you, man, back then, I was truly the BT 1000. And I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Until I heard Tommy Sotomayor explain it. He broke it down. He broke down what the BT 1000 actually means. What's up, Not Worth It? Yeah, Not Worth It. I used to be something. I used to be hell on wheels, man. Now when I go in the store, I be like, it be killing me. I be like, I don't want to spend $5 in here. I don't want to spend $20 in here. And just slip the shit in my fucking pocket and walk the fuck out. Of course, I'm gonna buy something, but in the meantime, like if I see me a sleeve of cookies I want, I'm taking them shits. I'm not paying a whole lot of money for this and that. No, man. Half of these stores don't even deserve the money. I deserve all the money and all the praise. I do. What was I talking about? Oh, it's a different array of subjects. We were talking about Michael Lee from The Wire. And then I started talking about the foster care system and these foster care children. And then I was talking about the difference about children in America and children from overseas. And then I was talking about the prison system and the subculture. And how when you go to a female institution, there are no gangs. Like in the male institution. In the male institution, there's different cars that you get in. You might get into a car where it's Bloods. You might get into a car if there's Crips, Latin Kings, Latin Counts, you know, Gangster Disciple cars, you know, 5% cars, you know. There's different cars that you can get into when you're in a male institution. And unfortunately, a lot of the men get turned out. And when they come to the street, they want to pretend that shit never happened. But they know the truth. I bet you a lot of men in this sector are just like that. But you don't know who they are. They're not going to announce. And there's a lot of people in the sector that have been to prison before. They know what the fuck I'm talking about, but they don't want to say when they went, how long they were down. They don't talk like that. TJ, I heard TJ say it a few times about how he went to prison, you know, for whatever amount of time. X, Y, and Z. The prison I went to, when the judge gave me my time, my judge name was Judge Schuler. Judge Schuler gave me 8 years, okay? So I served my time 6 years, 7 months. I did a good portion of my sentence. My sentence would have been shorter if I would have learned how to act while I was in there. But no, I was a savage. I was an animal. I was a demon. I am what is a younger version of myself. A younger version. Just imagine me, 22 years old, young. I didn't give a fuck about nothing and nobody. Nobody was going to tell me what to do. So what did they do? They put me on the SMU. They gave me 18 months on the SMU, on the SHE program, because not only was I fighting an inmate and broke her damn nose, took a dustpan and swiped her across her damn face with it, broke the bitch nose. One of the correctional officers had said I kicked her. While they were trying to put the handcuffs on me or whatever the case may have been, I kicked her. Sergeant Osborne, I'll never forget that bitch. As long as I fucking live. I will always mention that bitch's name. With the difference in being a booster, not worth it, is someone that goes inside a store and they steal more than one thing, more than one item. It's just like, okay, me and you going to the store, not worth it. And I say to you, damn, not worth it. We gonna need some money. We gonna have to boost out of here. Now, it would be your job because you're a man, right? You would separate from me, okay? You would separate and you would go wherever in the store. But I'm in there taking shit off the deodorant rack. I'm racking up stuff in my bag with deodorants, shampoos, things that people probably need or want. You know what I mean? And we go back into the neighborhood when we leave out the store. If there's no incidents, or let's say we go into a store and we steal a bunch of clothing, jackets, coats, pants, shoes. Okay, we're boosting. We're taking the things to the street. We're selling them. We're selling them for half the price that they were in the store. That's what it is. We're actually opening a store, but we're doing it in a way where we're stealing from one place to pay the next place. You know what I mean? Word. Not worth it. You couldn't be my co-defendant. I could see me and Not Worth It going to jail right now. Not worth it. If we was to rob a store together, do you think you'd be able to do it? Do you think you'd be able to go in there with the gun and help me rob the store? I'm dead ass serious. Would you be able to help me? Not Worth It. Not Worth It he's a hot mess. I love Not Worth It though. Shout out to Not Worth It. Shout out to Not Worth It not being my co-defendant. He said, what's the difference? Not Worth It. Come on, man. Shout out to the chat. Yeah. So yeah, man, Not Worth It. You cut my wisdom, but I was just talking about the inside of a female institution, a correctional institution. And I've heard some women on this app say, in this sector, I've heard some women say if they were there, they would not participate in a sexual relationship with another woman. And I beg to differ. I tell them straight to their face, I don't think you're telling the truth. I think you would be with a woman. And a lot of time people be like thinking, I don't want to lick nobody's pussy. I don't want to hunch on nobody. You don't necessarily have to have sex with them. You know, you could be intimate with somebody and never touch them sexually. Did you know that? Did you know that? There's a lot of people in this sector are very ignorant. They're very ignorant. You know what I mean? Where they don't know what being a lesbian is. They don't know. They automatically they think you candy licking somebody. No, it's more to that. It's more to that because women like to talk a lot. Women like to talk a lot. Sure do. They'll talk you right up on out of your own house. I used to have this girlfriend. Her name was Nature. Nature was the best cook in the whole wide world. I always pick women that love to cook. You know what I mean? I was always that way. I would let her cook. I would go out. I would make the money. The only thing she had to do was cook it. Cook the food. I never had to worry about being hungry. I never had to worry about being alone. As long as I had my girlfriend. Nature was one. I was crazy about Dolores. Dolores had got me fired from off my job years ago. This was 2005. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget her name, Dolores. So Dolores and of course, there have been other women. So I've dated Marisol, Dolores, Nature. I've dated, where's that child name? It's so many. Tish, Tanya, Karen. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus. Nora. Yeah, man. Nora was the best girlfriend I ever had. But I loved Nature because Nature loved to cook. She loved to cook. She loved to cook. I used to love to be in the kitchen with her. And she'd be up there cooking and just cooking, and I'm up there reading the newspaper. And you know what? I like those roles, man. I like that. I like for the woman to be a woman and for me to be somebody daddy. That's the best. When a woman holds your hand, just like KK, when a woman holds your hand in public view, she don't care who see a woman loving on you, hugging you, kissing you, and whispering in your ear. That is the best feeling in the world. A woman sitting in your lap is the best feeling in the world. I remember years ago, I went to this club, a little hole in the wall. This was years ago. This is like way before I really came out with my lesbianism. I had went to a club, right? I was dressed. I had on the baseball cap. I had on the NFL jersey, and I had on a pair of jeans and some sneakers. So I went up in the club and I was dancing. I was grooving, man. I had that beer in my hand. I was just dancing. And it was one lady I gravitated towards her. Started grinding behind her. I mean, she was whipping it up there too, right? And she was like, I wonder why he's not getting hard. I wonder why his dick is not getting hard. Yo, when she turned around, right, and we were still dancing, we were still grooving, she put her hand, felt down there. And was like, oh shit, you not a dude, you a bitch. That's what you get for not looking. That's what you get for being hot in your ass. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. So, damn, my cigarette blew out. That fast, you guys. Somebody don't want me to smoke my cigarettes. Somebody don't want me to enjoy my life. But yeah, man, I love being on these YouTube streets and trolling people and fucking with people sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. Sometimes I'll go in the chat, like let's say Queen Regina is live, right? And I go into Queen Regina's chat. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm at home. Okay, so let's say that Sister T go live, right? I go over there, I go into Sister T chat. Now, Sister T, that my nigga, she don't get no bigger. Yo, she be dead ass serious, and I be in there laughing. I be laughing because of her facial expressions, how the way she's saying the words she's saying. Yo, I be in there, and I don't mean to. But I let her know. Look, this is funny to me. some of the subjects she be talking, some of the content she does. Yo, Y'all ever get a chance, go over there to Sister T when she go live. You will enjoy yourself. You shall enjoy yourself. I love going over there to Sister T's. So Queen Regina, I like going to Queen Regina. I like going to Sister T. I like going to Moonlights. I like going to Soulfly when she's live. Sometimes, not all the time. Like if if Soulfly is talking about Kwame Brown or The Answer, I wave at her. I'll hit the like button, but I don't want to hear about Kwame Brown, and I don't want to hear about The Answer. Because I think something strange is going on there. I think something strange is going on the YouTubes. I love going to Just Jay's videos. I love Just Jay. I love going to Mrs. V's on chat. Yo, shout out to them. I love going. Sometimes I'll go and sit with sis and them. Sometimes, not all the time. I don't like to go over there all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes, not all the time. I love going over there to Johnny Blaze too, because he's very entertaining. I love the music drops. I like going to, who else would I be going over there to a whole lot? It's another one. And it's a few of them I like going to. I can't name them all, but I go where I can go when I get ready to go. I sit there for a little while. I enjoy myself. I love to laugh at King Mafia Anthony. He's a trip. It take him 2 days to fix an air condition. He's a hot mess. Shout out to everyone I just mentioned. Yeah, but I love going over there. I love going to different other channels, not in this sector. I just love doing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll go over there and listen to Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor has definitely changed. He's not the same Tommy as I've known him, and that shows that he is maturing. You know what I mean? I still like his talking points. If I need to polish my mirror, I will go to an old Tommy Sotomayor video, or I'll go and visit a Thick Cut and listen to his music drops where Tommy Sotomayor is involved. A shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. A shout out to Thick Cut. So I'm getting ready to end this video, you guys. I want to thank everyone for coming in and, spending some time with me. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has an awesome day today. Enjoy yourself. Jifu rahishe. Jifu rahishe. Or should I say it in Spanish? Disfruta tu dia. Enjoy your day. Disfruta tu dia. Yeah. Enjoy your day. All right, we out of here, everyone. Not Worth It. Thank you for coming over and moderating for me. We're going to do roll call real quick. So Tesh was here. We got Not Worth It, Corey A, Queen Regina, Uncle L. Yeah. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everyone that came over. Thank you for spending some time with your home girl. And we out. Peace.